Come to order, please. Today's meeting of the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is called to order on April 24th, 2024. Welcome, everyone. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Agendas of today's meeting are on the wall at the entrance to council chambers. Please remember to turn off your cell phones. The Municipal Code Enforcement Board consists of 7 members who are appointed by the City Council. We serve voluntarily. It is this board's intention to promote, protect, and improve the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of Clearwater by providing this equitable, effective, and inexpensive method of enforcing certain codes within the city. The board considers new business items in 2 parts. First, the violation, and then affirmative relief. Formal rules of evidence do not apply. Each side is limited to 15 minutes. The board may grant additional time. All proceedings will be conducted in a calm, civil manner. Individuals who conduct themselves otherwise will be asked to leave. If necessary, they will be escorted from the chambers. Now I ask all who plan to speak, rise and be sworn in by our clerk.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth throughout your entire testimony?
Our first order of business is to review and approve the minutes of last month's meeting. May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion. I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Minutes are approved. Is there anyone here to speak to items that are not on today's agenda? No? All right, well, let's get to our new business items today. First up on our new business items is 4.1, continued from February 28th and March 27th, 2024, case 17-24. Find respondents Shante Turner and Mark Acevedo at 1142 Palm Bluff Street in violation of Code for Exterior Services, and issue an order with the compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on that? No? You have the floor.
Good afternoon, Board. Inspector Gregory Dixon, Code Compliance Inspector for the City of Clearwater. This is case 17-24 for 1142 Palm Bluff Street. Can you see it?
No, it's not up yet. There you go.
Thank you. There's one violation of this property for exterior surfaces. Courtesy notice was sent in June of last year, and the notice came back unclaimed into the office in July, so I posted the property in August, and I set a compliance date of 9/11/2023. This is the house in question. It's just a single-family home that needs some woodwork and some paint. Here's the after the compliance date.
Is there no one living there?
No.
No.
I am in contact with the owners. It was, I think a family member maybe passed away and was quitclaim deed to them last year.
Yeah.
And they were unsure what they were gonna do with the property, and they started removing vegetation and getting into it, and they were in contact with me, but they haven't returned any of my emails lately, and we've pushed it down the road a couple of times now, so that's why we're here. Compliance will be met for the exterior by repairing all damaged and rotted exterior surfaces and repainting the structure. I'm requesting compliance on or before June 1st, 2024, or a fine of $150 per day if the compliance is not met.
I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is approved.
I move to enter order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before 6/1/2024. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation. For each day each violation continues to exist, if fines and fees are made unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion approved.
Thank you.
All right, on to 4.2 on our agenda, continued from March 27th, 2024, case 32-24. Find respondents Vicky A. Haas at 3035 Oak Cove Drive in violation of code for exterior surfaces and issue an order with a compliance deadline and find if compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on that? Come forward. State your name for the record, please.
Vicky Haas,
Okay. Your address also?
3035 Oak Cove Drive.
Okay. Ms. Haas, do you deny or admit to the violation?
I am unclear of the violation. I had an attorney who the city decided to hire, and then they told him that I was a conflict of interest. So I've been trying to find a new one in the county, and I haven't found one. I'm requesting either to let me have my attorney back or give me some more time to get an attorney. And my problem is I'm not positive of what they want me to do. I did not get noticed on this until March 14th this year, and it was posted on my mailbox, and they attached, Shelby Brown attached a list of over $100,000 worth of stuff that I don't know which one of those I'm supposed to be addressing, and I don't know what the violation, whoever put the violation in. I don't know who it was and what they have issues with. I'll happily fix the issues. I just need to know which ones, but I mean, from the stuff that was attached, it looked like they wanted me to remodel the entire outside. I'm financially unable to do such a thing. They've sent me notices of violations, I fixed them. I've been constantly fixing whatever they wanted me to fix. So I would like to know what the original violation was, and I would like a little more time to get an appropriate replacement for my attorney. Or hopefully the city will say, hey, you can have him back. It's, he was my attorney first.
Can I say something? Should we be hearing from the inspector?
Yeah, the inspector's
Our job up here is not to make life hard for everybody. We tried to work with everybody, and before you go out and hire an attorney, no disrespect to our fine attorneys that are sitting up here with us, when spending all that money, wouldn't it be better if we heard what was going on and you heard what the inspector had to say, and maybe we can come to an agreement here where you can resolve the problems? You don't have to go out and hire an attorney.
That would
I think that's
be
what
the
we're
first
gonna,
step.
I think that's what we're gonna try to do today, so if you can just let it proceed to go by. Am I incorrect
Am I
here?
gonna-
Are you in agreement
No,
with
but
everybody?
I just needed for you to answer do you admit or deny the violation?
I deny because I don't know what the violation
All
is.
right.
Okay.
Okay, if you'll have a seat right over there, we'll hear from the city, and then we'll
Okay.
bring you back up. Thank you so much.
Just give me 1 sec.
And we're up. Good afternoon, Board.
Good
Shelby
afternoon,
Brown,
Ms.
City of Clearwater Code Inspector. This is case 32-24. It's for 3035 Oak Cove Drive. So today we're here for one violation, which has to do with exterior surfaces. That's code section 3-1502B. Just a little preface, the reason we were at the property is that a few years ago, we got a nuisance abatement order at the property, so we periodically have to go out and do cleanups at the property. And when we were out there on November 27th doing a nuisance abatement cleanup, we were able to really get a close-up look at some of the exterior surfaces of the home. And so it was a self-initiated violation. There was no complaint from anybody else about it. Just want to make that clear. All right, so we sent a notice of violation on December 12th of 2023 with a compliance date of January 30th, 2024. The certified mail was returned to our office, so I posted the property on January 11th with the notice of violation. I also posted City Hall. And the notice of the Municipal Code Enforcement Board hearing for last month, for March, was also not claimed by the property owner, so that was posted at the property on March 14th. That's what she was referring to. but we did post a notice of violation at the property on January 11th. This is a picture of the property on January 11th in the front. A few of you have been on the board for a while. You may recall the exterior of the property. There's a house, back there. All right, so this is on January 30th. This is sort of a view of the east side. You can see there's a lot of vegetation that's pulled away from the property, some stucco damage. Most of the trims are peeling in pretty rough shape. This was on November 27th. If you look up there, that's the eaves of the property. Lots of peeling, paint, mildew, discoloration. This is pretty consistent through most of the fascia soffits and eaves throughout the areas of the property that surround the house. Here's a view looking west. As you look down toward the corner of the property where that ladder is, there's a pretty big hole, a very significant hole there in the soffit. This is the west side of the house. There's been, looks like some vines there in the past, so there's some discolorations from that. Overall, the stucco looks pretty discolored there. This is as you come around to the back side of the property. If you look up there toward the top, there's another really big hole in the soffit. So these are kind of consistent throughout multiple areas of the property. Here's another corner. You can see the woods pulling away very significantly. A lot of discoloration, peeling, and damaged paint. I want you to bring your eye here to see where the sliding glass door is and the air conditioner. Above that, there's a lot of wood dropping down. That's the soffit. We're not here to talk about the chicken coops there. Chickens are allowed nowadays in Clearwater. We might address this on another issue, but this is what we're here for today, is the exterior surfaces. This is a picture of the front of the property on March 13th. Up there towards the eaves, again, a lot of vegetation is just kind of clinging to the property, and there's a lot of dead vines there, a little more close up. All right, this is January 11th. This was the second notice of violation that we provided. The first one wasn't signed for. This is the second notice posted to the property. This was on March 14th, notice of hearing. This is on April 9th, the notice for today's hearing. I went by yesterday. I couldn't see that there had been any improvements or changes at the property. Grass is starting to get high again, and we might have to go back out for a nuisance abatement, but that's not what we're here for today. So compliance can be met for the exterior surfaces by having any damaged or deteriorated structural and decorative elements repaired and or replaced in a workmanlike manner. This includes the stuccos, the trims, soffits, fascia, etc. Removal of all mildew, peeling paint, and other loose materials, and repainting of all affected areas shall be accomplished to match the existing or adjacent surfaces. And the building walls shall be maintained in a secure and attractive manner. So it just needs to get fixed. So for case 32-24, my recommendation for the one violation today of exterior surfaces is we're requesting compliance on or before June 24, 2024. That's a few months out. We know it's a lot of work. We want to give her some time. Or a fine of $150 per day for each day the violation continues to exist.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Board,
Any
do you have
questions?
any questions for Inspector Brown? No?
No.
Okay.
You'll have a seat.
Thank
We'll
you.
bring- Ms. Haas, would you like to come back here, please? Are you, with the pictures that she provided and the information that she provided, are you still confused on what needs to?
They want me to paint the house and
Fix the
fix
wood,
holes.
fix the holes in the wood and get the vines that are off there and any of the discoloration, maybe pressure wash it and paint where,
Fix it up, fix it back up.
you say pressure washer. I have a pressure washer. I used to have gas and gas cans for my generator for hurricane preparedness. The last time they came out to do their cleanup, they took all my gas and my gas cans.
Either
So-
way, the soffits are clearly falling down and there's holes.
I know, but it's just funny that you said pressure wash. And I was like,
Okay,
I'm not
but
allowed to
let's-
have gas.
or paint over it. I don't know which would be
Well,
easier.
no, pressure washing is the first step.
Let me ask you a question, ma'am. Are you
Absolutely.
doing anything to fix the place up? It doesn't appear
Yes.
that you're doing anything. Well, then.
Yes, I am, but I mean, they,
It doesn't appear from the
in my
picture.
opinion, every time they come out, they make it worse. They make it a lot.
From what
I can, if y'all Google map thing, my house, I think it's still prior to them abating it, you'll see it was highly maintained. It was a beautiful
But ma'am,
place.
you're not doing
We're not
anything
sending
now.
abatement out unless it needs to be done.
And basically what she said, it clearly shows to me that you
Well,
you need to
yes,
fix,
and-
excuse
I'm
me,
sorry.
just one second, you need
I'm
to
sorry.
fix the house up. And if you at least try to start fixing it up, you're not gonna have to go to an attorney. You can work with a code inspector. You show them what you're doing. We see progress. If you're not finished in 3 months, we can probably give you a little bit more time. We'll work with you any way we can, but it doesn't appear you're doing anything.
I didn't know what they wanted me to start on. Again, the list that they gave me,
It's
it
pretty
was
clear if you
everything.
walk up to the house. I mean, come on, it's not that difficult.
Just walk around your house.
If
Okay.
you do anything and work with the inspector, they'll work with you.
Okay.
You don't have to go to an attorney.
2 months is not going to be enough time.
Okay, well, how much time do you think you would need
Well-
to? I mean, you know, we can prolong it a little while. I mean, we're not gonna let it go
I
for,
would
you
like
know, a
at
year
least
or
an
two.
update in 2 months.
Let's
Yeah.
make
I
it
don't
for
want
2
to
months
kick
and
the
then we'll
can down
adjust.
the road any further.
Yeah,
Let's stick with 2 months.
we'll do an
Just work with
update.
her. You're good.
Yeah, get with,
Well, that says if it's not done by then you're going to.
We need to
No,
see
no,
that
no.
you're actually making progress.
yeah, if we
like-
see that you're doing.
That's
if
fine,
you
but
start
I
doing-
mean,
Well-
according to that, what it says there, that if it's not done by
That's
that
the
day.
extreme that we can do.
Yeah.
We can say, you got till the 24th
We
to
have
get it
some
done,
wiggle
or it's
room.
gonna
If you're
start
willing to
flying.
work with us,
Yeah.
and we're willing
Yeah.
to work with you, we
Definitely.
can.
We need
you
to
know,
see-
but-
Like I said, everything else that was pretty clear. I had leaves on my roof. I got the leaves off the roof.
Okay,
I
let's
had to
not
take
get
down
past the
fence.
holes
I
in the
took fence
soffits and the
down.
holes in the roof. Like,
Okay.
it's pretty obvious that's an issue.
Yeah.
You're opening yourself up for termites getting it, or rodents getting in there, all kinds of problems.
And fire, because the firemen would have a hard time getting in the front with all that growth and trees you have blocking the front of your house.
All you gotta do is work with the inspector. They come back and report to us. We'll ask you to come back and get a report.
I've had
And you're not,
troubles
to
working.
me, it doesn't appear you're doing anything.
Okay, I've asked specifics before, and
I
they
don't,
tell
I
me what
cannot,
to
I
do,
don't, I'm
and
sorry,
I
but
do it, and
the-
it's still
the
not
code
right.
enforcement officers are very good about telling you what's going on. They'll work with you hand in glove.
This has been going on for quite a while.
Yeah, I
It's nothing
understand.
new.
I understand, and when I come back, I'll bring pictures of what my house looked like
Yeah.
before they got involved.
That
It was.
doesn't make any difference to us. It's what the house looks like right now.
It's
I know.
now that counts.
We'll have you back in June on the 24th for an update.
Can
And
I
hope,
at least get until July?
No, June's
No.
fine. We'll get an update.
yeah,
If you're
it's not,
working-
we're not gonna start
Okay.
finding you then. We're just gonna get an update, see what progress you have made between
Okay.
now and June 24th. And if you bring us pictures and show us the update, or Inspector Brown goes back out there and takes pictures and sees that there's progress being made, then, you know, we'll give you more time to finish out, you know, and get it all done. We don't wanna fine you at all.
Okay.
You know, that's the extreme that we have
We
to do.
wanna work with you.
Yeah, we want.
What about my request to have my attorney be allowed to be
Well,
my
that's not
attorney?
something that we can't handle. You would have to go to someone.
That's up to you. You know, we can't go
Mr. Chair,
there.
can I make
Yeah.
a comment to
Yes,
that
Mr.
effect?
Simpson.
I did speak with Mr. Luke LaRoe before the hearing last month. I was not informed of it prior to that, but apparently he had communications with my boss, the city attorney. He was retained by the city to defend the city in a First Amendment case, and he's a very prominent First Amendment attorney. It was not known by either side that he was, I think it was just something that neither side really noticed, that he was involved in this situation. And as soon as Mr. LaRoe realized that he had this potential conflict, he brought it to the city attorney, and the city attorney declined to waive. If you're an attorney, the rules of professional responsibility prevent you from representing parties that may have adverse claims and representing both of those parties. So that's considered a conflict of interest, and the city wasn't willing to waive that conflict. That's not a decision that I get to make, or that this board gets to make. So that was something that Mr. LaRoe kind of explained a little bit last month when he requested the continuance to allow for her to get an attorney. I also want to say that I appreciate the sentiment of the board member about not needing attorneys, but I do want to be clear that she is entitled to an attorney if she
Oh, I
wants one.
understand
So
that.
I don't want that comment to be misconstrued for her to think that the suggestion is that she shouldn't get an attorney. She's entitled if she wants one. Absolutely do agree with the sentiment of the comment, though, that hopefully we can work it out and without getting overly
Yeah.
legal. But there are attorneys for the city, there's an attorney for the board, she's entitled to an attorney as well. So I just want to be absolutely clear about
I
that.
understand that totally, and I'm just trying to save you the money on that, because we will work with you.
Yeah.
And
That's the
code
point of
inspector
this, is
will
to
work
be,
with you.
is to provide an equitable service to the community. So
Yeah.
we're obviously volunteer, we're not getting paid, and so our intent is to work through a solution before it ever gets to a point of needing an attorney, but you have every right to hire whomever you want to hire and bring on
Okay.
whomever you want to
But
bring
if,
on.
but if you don't show any interest in cleaning up the property, then we're gonna.
I didn't
we're
say
gonna-
that. I never said anything like
I
that.
know
I've
that,
been doing what
I'm just making a
I've
comment,
understood to
that
do.
you will be fined down the
So
road if
can
you
we,
don't.
you guys, can we give a compliance date by July, but
whatever
with
you
an
want.
update in June? No?
We can
Let's just do
just
June.
continue
That's
it.
3
We
months
could just,
out.
we could just do the
Well,
24th,
we
June
would-
24th and
The city
continue.
is requesting that there be a finding of a violation. I mean, I don't think I've heard any evidence contradicting the fact that there's a violation of the code. She seems to be arguing that it's not been clear what we've been asking, but on that, I would say that the notice that went out at the beginning of this year, it's cited to the entire code section that is at issue here. And it specifically said within that notice, during a recent inspection, the above listed conditions existed at this property and must be addressed in accordance with the property maintenance ordinances. The ordinance was cited in its entirety in that notice above there. And it goes on to say, please address all visible mildew, peeling or failing paint, damaged exterior surfaces, including the soffits and fascia, and maintain the property on a regular basis. The city is really not legally required to go into an itemized list of every single specific thing that needs to be fixed. The code speaks for itself, and the law says that people are supposed to know what the code requires of them. So our position would be that you make a finding of a violation today. We're also asking for the deadline to be implemented, but if the board doesn't want to implement the deadline, then obviously we defer. That's the board's decision to make, but we would ask there be a finding of viation at least, and then you could
I would
delay
like
the-
to make the motion and go along with the city, and if she shows that she's doing something and makes our code inspector aware of it, and she's happy with it, we continue to move it down the road.
We do that
But
when we
let's-
continue things anyway.
Right.
We already
Right.
do that, so it's, you make the regular motion and just do
Yeah.
it, just do it. You don't change the motion today.
Right.
Yeah,
And we'll-
it's
And
our
then we'll
normal
continue
motion.
it down the road. So I think we ought to make the motion. And understand, there's a fine if you don't show a movement towards solving these problems in good faith.
I understand.
We're not out here to make your life miserable. We're just trying to make the city beautiful.
Okay, I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved.
I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before June 24th, 2024. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
And remember, it said may impose a fine.
Yeah.
If you work with the city,
Yeah.
there's not going to be a fine.
Yeah, just start getting everything, like I said, Inspector Brown, she will be, checking in and stuff. And as long as we see you're making progress, we won't start those fines at all. We'll have you back here in June, and you can show us the progress that you've made on the place. And then we'll just move along from there, and we can still continue it out,
If you still want to
give
hire
you
an
more.
attorney, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, if I
Yes.
could just comment to that.
Yes.
How this will happen based on the motions that were just made is that when that deadline arrives, the following day, our inspector is going to go out and look at the property. If she thinks that it's still in violation, she's going to file with the clerk a document that's called an affidavit of non-compliance. That document will then get scheduled to the next board meeting for you to consider.
Right.
Technically, we've talked about this before, technically you either accept that affidavit or not, and the question is, was it in compliance on that day or was it not in compliance on that day? Historically, the board has continued those hearings if people have showed up and brought up some circumstances that caused a delay or something like that. But that would not change the effect of the order that was just entered.
Correct.
So if the board ultimately decides that that affidavit is accepted, the fines would begin from the deadline date. If the board delays the affidavit and then the following month they come back and then accepts the affidavit at the next month, the fines would still begin from the original deadline. It would not affect the deadline unless the board vacated the order or something like that. But I just want to be clear on that process because, I don't want her to be surprised by the fact that if we come back for next month or whatever, I'd defer to your attorney if you want to
I
schedule
think the board is
status
asking
or
for an
something.
update in June.
That's why I was saying to do the violation through July, effective July, but in June require the update. Like in 2 months, have her come back and show us that she's made some progress, but otherwise,
Work with Inspector Brown. She's your lifeline. If she can really help you.
So do we-
If she brings the property into compliance before the deadline, they close the case and it never comes back at all. So that's also a possibility.
Well, and it's like you said, you guys have the choice when you see if there's an affidavit of noncompliance as to
Okay.
find out if they're close, if nothing's been done normally, then you impose the fine.
Yeah, we always have a
Accept
choice.
the
We'll
affidavit.
address it then, when she comes back for the
okay.
non-compliance,
And we have
if that's
another
what,
2 months.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Ms. Haas, did you understand everything start making progress on your house? Ms. Brown, Inspector Brown will be in touch with you, and we'll go from there. All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you. All right, next case on our agenda is 4.3, case 45-24. Find respondents James P. King, CPA, Inc., at 807 North Fort Harrison in violation of code for roof maintenance, exterior storage, landscape maintenance, and abandoned building, and issue an order with compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on that case? No? Inspector Casman, you have the floor.
All right. Give it a second.
Wheel goes round and round.
There we go. Good afternoon, Board. Daniel Kasdan, Code Enforcement Inspector for the City of Clearwater. This is for case number 45-24 for 807 North Fort Harrison Avenue. There were 4 violations here at this property. Code Section 3-1502 G1, 2, and 3 for exterior storage. Code Section 3-1502 H3 for landscape maintenance. Code Section 3-1502 D1, D3, and D5 for roof maintenance. Code Section 3-1503 A, B1, B2, B3, and B9 for abandoned building. These were the dates the notice of violation went out, along with compliance dates. I did have to post the property with an affidavit of posting and then a notice of hearing. I have been in contact with the owner of the property and her grandson, and I think they are making some progress, so hopefully they'll be able to make it by the deadline. So I don't know if any of you have ever seen this. This is 807 North Fort Harrison. As you go by the Seminole Boat Dock ramp by Seminole, it's on your left, next to a white building on your left as well. There's some issues at the property. I had spoken with the owner at this time. This was back in January. Apparently a gentleman had started entry into the property and was squatting at the property, and she was having a few issues with getting any workmen out there to take care of any problems there. At the time, the utilities were off at the location, didn't have active service. This is my postings at the property in February. And this is what the exterior looked like. Up there you see a little bit of damage to the roof sections. This is supposed to be a walkway along the side of the house, but it's completely overgrown. There's fronds and overgrowth all over the property. Damage to the soffits, damage to the rafters that are coming out of the sides.
Cameras up.
It's thinking.
Is there anyone living here?
Not right now. I did speak with the owner. They managed to get the gentleman who was there evicted off the property, and they did hire a local handyman to kind of take a look at it, do at least some basic
I see the
repairs.
cameras installed around it. I was just.
Yeah, I don't know who put those there, if it was the previous owner or the new tenant. Just give it a second. It's chugging along a little bit.
Technology.
Is it that old style asbestos
There we
shingles?
go. Again, this was back in February.
Asbestos shingles on
Seems my picture's a little too big, so.
it.
And
Again.
there are no utilities on.
As of right now, they did actually turn on the utilities again. They did get electric going in the property. I verified it with Duke. You'll see in some later photos, it's looking a little bit better, but this was before then. This is in March. Still, same thing, grounds of the property were just full of trash and debris. This was on the side, like a vacuum outside, some debris, some items, there's a little light, like a little chandelier light there hidden in the bushes.
Mr. Kessman, when you come across abandoned houses like this, do you ever come across squatters in these houses?
It's happened from time to time. Sometimes I bring it up with the owners,
Yeah.
just let them know what's going on at the property. Sometimes they have no idea it's happening. Sometimes they know and they're currently in litigation.
It makes me wonder when they're abandoned and the utilities are turned back on, but the owners aren't living there, because squatters is a very big problem.
Well, in this particular case, the handyman they hired was inside when they turned on the utilities,
Okay.
gave him permission to do so. It seemed like nothing was going on, no leaks, no issues, so perhaps
Yeah.
it hadn't been emptied for long enough for any damage to occur. So, this was back again in March. This was the notice for today's hearing. I would be going fast with these photos, you have to bear with me, I don't know what's going on with PowerPoint.
Your camera's too good.
Only has trouble with you every
Yeah,
month.
I
You're
think I
the,
gotta start adjusting the settings on my phone to take smaller size
The,
photographs.
the gerbils aren't running yet.
Yeah. So,
No, I
but,
like clear pictures. I'm getting old. I want to be able to see
yeah,
it.
so this was on the 23rd. As you can see, a lot of the greenery's been cut back from the house. You can actually see it now. The front is looking a little bit better. There's still a fair amount of issues with the roof that will have to be addressed.
And that's a major part of it, too.
Yeah, here's the pathway of an earlier photo. They did manage to cut out a lot there. There's about 20 bags of garbage out front, a huge pile of landscaping, so.
so they are making some progress.
They are making some progress. The top part of the shed is gone, just some leavings in the back that they gotta take care of. This should be the last photo in the roll, and then we'll be free. And on this side, as you see, they've cut out a lot. They've thrown out a few things, but there's still a road to go here to come to compliance with this property.
In front there.
That overlap siding, is that asbestos?
It could be,
Looks like it, yeah.
so.
Can I
compliance-
have, before you go,
Yeah.
when did this start? How many months ago?
It started in January. I had called up the
January.
owner of the
Okay,
property.
thank you.
Yeah. So, compliance will be met for the exterior storage by removing all lumber, appliances, remove the clap shed, and any other miscellaneous items. Compliance will be met for the roof maintenance by repairing all damage to the fascia soffit's roof and by removing all debris from the roof. Compliance will be met for landscape maintenance by cutting back any landscaping growing into the right-of-way, removal of all debris from the grounds, maintaining greenery to present an attractive appearance, and cutting back any greenery growing under the main structure. Compliance is met for the abandoned building by coming to compliance with all other code violations and restoring utilities. Alternatively, demolish the structure. But at the rate they're going, they may not have to do that.
Yep.
So, for case number 45-24 for 807 North Fort Harrison, for the violations, exterior storage, roof maintenance, abandoned building, landscape maintenance, requested compliance on or before May 24th, 2024, or a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day the violations continue to exist.
Board, do we have any questions for Mr. Cashman?
No.
No?
I move to find the
But
respondent.
can I make a comment, though? It was started in January. It looks like they're trying to do something. I would like to suggest that we just give them an extra month instead of May, just give them June, because it does look like they're trying to make some progress here. And there's a lot of work to be done. Minor thing, just give them an extra month, what I'd like to do.
Board,
Board?
how do you feel about that?
I'd rather go along with Mr. Casman, May.
Well, just be ornery.
Not being honest, just being realistic.
No, that's fine, that's
they're
fine. I
We
just-
can't
I-
always be giving out extra time for no reason.
Yeah, I understand.
We gotta go
And they're
by
not
the
here
city
asking.
too.
I just felt that because there seemed to be some progress being made, I was trying to give them a little bit of time.
Well, that's
but
good, but that gives them an incentive to finish on
Finish
by May.
faster.
No problem.
I agree with him.
Oh,
Only because with like the soffit and everything, like, I don't know if, I don't know, permits are required for that kind of stuff and wood and whatever, but
Just an extra month.
But they didn't come here to try to plead a case for more time, so
Yeah.
True.
Yeah,
You're
if they'd have
right.
showed up,
You're
I
right.
would be resilient to give them extra time, but they're not even here.
Okay.
You make the motion, we'll
Point-
see
point
which.
taken.
I move to find the
We'll
respondent in
see.
violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Me.
I moved, okay. I moved, that still passes.
Motion passes.
I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before May 24th, 2024. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If the fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Me. And I meant to, that first motion, I should have said yes, excuse me, just clarifying my screw up here.
Motion passes. That would be 4-1. All right. That is, next case on the agenda is 4.4, case number 46-24, find respondents Clearwater Town Center LLC at 511 South Fort Harrison Avenue in violation of code for windows, maintenance, and fences and walls, and issue an order with the compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on that? Will you step forward to the podium? State your name and address to our clerk for the record,
Jeff
please.
Davis, 511 South Fort Harrison Avenue.
Mr. Davis, do you admit or deny the violation?
Well, I admit there was a tear in the awning, which we've had removed and is getting repaired by Awning Works currently. There was a small tear in the awning on the front of the building facing Fort Harrison. And then in the back, there was a tear in an awning that's not visible from the road, but we've had them both. They're all removed and they're all at Awning Works being repaired.
So for this violation, while we're
Yeah.
here today, you admit to it?
Yes.
Yes, okay. If you'll have a seat right there, we'll hear from the city, and then we'll bring you back up, sir. Thank you. Go ahead with your first
I
motion.
move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? First motion carries. Mr. Casman, you have the floor.
Thank you. Daniel Kasman, Code Enforcement Inspector for the City of Clearwater. This is case number 46-24 for 511 South Fort Harrison Avenue. There are two violations here for Code Section 3-1502 C3. Call it awning maintenance, but it's under the door and window code. Just thought it'd make it a little bit easier. Code Section 3-808 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the fence maintenance. This is the days the notice of violation were sent out with the compliance dates. I did have to do an affidavit of posting at the property. But I have been in contact with the owner for a little bit of time now about the issues. This is the shopping center at the corner of Turner and Fort Harrison, right there. As I was driving by, I noticed back in November there was a huge tear in one of the awnings in the back of the property there. It's just what it looks like from below. And then when I'd gone back, I'd spoken with a few of the tenants there, trying to understand what had happened at some of the walkway fences over here. I guess somebody had crashed into them, and they were dealing with insurance with that particular issue at the time. This was the postings back in December of last year. I went back after the compliance date, and the issues were still happening. I don't know if we had spoken with the owner at this time. I'd gotten in touch with him, I think either in December or January, and he explained to me the full situation. This was back in March. The issue why I came forth to board today was because it was seemed to take too long of an amount of time to get for the issues to be fixed, especially some of the fence issues where it had been laying on the ground for a while, the damage to it. And then out front, that said, I had noticed later there was a rip in the FedEx awning. This is what it looked like today. They have removed all the canvas material, so only the skeleton is left for the rear awning. And the FedEx awning was completely removed. The fence, the portion that was on the ground was removed, which was great, but the remaining section is a little skinny for people to be able to walk through, in my personal opinion. I'd like to just see that fence bent back into a proper shape, and if there's any portion of it that isn't usable, for it to just be removed in its entirety. So compliance met for the awning by repairing any damaged awnings on the property. This includes replacing ripped or torn canvas, otherwise remove any damaged awnings, including any non-canvassed frames. Therefore, if the frame is removed without the canvas, it'd be technically in compliance. And then for the fence maintenance, by repairing any damage to the fence in the property or by removing them. And like I said, in that case, I'd like to just see that straightened up and made wider for people to be able to walk by again.
We have windows maintenance on our report. Is that correct, or does that mean the awning itself over the windows?
The awning maintenance is buried in the window maintenance code. It specifically mentions awning in that section.
Okay.
It sometimes is confusing. Sometimes you can try to use interchangeably exterior surfaces or window maintenance, but it's specifically referenced in
They're
the
all
window
one.
code. So I'm trying to make it not confusing.
It's the last paragraph of that section, and it states, "All awnings, screens, or canopies facing or visible from the public right-of-way shall be maintained in a good and attractive condition, and torn, loose, and/or bleached awnings, screens, or canopies shall be promptly replaced, repaired, or removed."
Daniel, we also have walls. Was there any issue with that?
No, the fence and wall are kind of kept in the same section too.
Okay.
Just one does for the other. They ask if they're upright no more than 10
So
degrees.
the fence goes with the walls?
Yeah,
Gotcha. They're all one, okay.
sort of, yeah.
I have no problems with the awning and all that, but you said that on the fence, it was in your opinion that it needed to be widened. Is it code says it has to be widened?
You
or
can't,
is it-
you can't allow a fence to lean more than 10 degrees. And for this
That one side is.
walkway fence,
Okay, there's a
it's
specific.
a little skinnier. I mean, I might appear skinny, but I'm pretty wide myself.
Oh, I'll
Yeah,
It's
walk
hard
through,
for me to fit by.
No,
six
you
degrees.
just answered my question. You said
Yeah.
it can't lean a certain amount of degree. You answered my
Yeah,
question.
all right,
I'll walk through there. You're right, Daniel, it's very narrow.
yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that there was a particular regulation that it was
Yeah,
breaking.
it's kind of
Yeah.
pushed, it's gotten pushed in.
Whoever hit that fence at the.
Oh, yeah, I realize
went
how it
through
happened.
and pushed that, so.
Yeah, trucks are backing up there all the time.
All right, Mr. Cashman, if you'll have a seat. Mr. Davis, should I come back up? So you've got the one big awning, it's all fixed now? Completely fixed, or the
Well, no,
frame?
they're at the awning place getting repaired, getting that new canvas put on them.
Did they give you a timeline on when that would be completed?
Well, they did, but they don't always stick to it. I mean, they're
Oh.
supposed to be,
Yeah.
I've used them before, and they would tell me, oh, it'll be done in 3 months, and then I'm calling them 4.5 months later, seeing where they are. But
Yeah.
as of right now, they're supposed to be done by the beginning of, like in the first week of May. But again, you know, a lot of people around here tell you things and don't do them all the time. So.
So you can probably, more than likely, if their timeline is correct, and
Yeah, then it
you'll
would
be
be done by
back
the
in compliance
24th,
by the May
right.
24th? Okay,
And what about the fence?
yeah.
The railing?
Well, I have someone hired to try to bend the fence out. Now, he's the third person. I've hired 2 other companies that never showed up. So then when they didn't show up, I had to start over and find someone else. So as of now, there is someone hired to try to bend the fence out, yes.
Okay.
A torch and a chain on the back of a truck, keep them poles and have that truck pull it, and just to straighten, just to pull it back
Yeah.
into line, you know?
Yeah,
That's where I would go with
Probably
it.
what pushed it in was a
The
truck.
problem
yeah.
is it's, you know, part aluminum, so.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, it
no,
gets
that's
snapped.
just,
I don't-
that's the farm
It's
boy
not a
talking in me.
suggestion.
you
Me
know?
too.
So do you think that you could get both of these accomplished by May 24th?
I don't know. I mean, I would love to have 1 extra month just in case, but they're supposed to be done. I can't obviously tell you.
Well, let's do an extra
Unequivocally.
month. Let's give him an extra month, and we'll go to June 24th.
Okay.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Board,
Okay.
you
Fine with
agree with
me.
that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Till June 24th?
Yeah.
Okay,
Does
can we
that
have a
sound
mo,
okay?
we have a motion?
And then just be in communication with
Yeah,
Mr. Casman
yeah,
if for some
just-
reason it's not
Okay.
complete
Yeah,
by
we'll
that
give them a
time.
call, yeah.
Yeah, if it happens, something happens, you know,
Okay.
on their end, that they couldn't get the awning, just, you know, let Mr. Cashman know. you
Okay,
know.
well, at least they're down, so they look better just not even being on there, honestly.
Okay.
so.
All right.
I moved,
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
thank you. I moved to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before June 24th, 2024. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per each violation each day each violation continues to exist, if the fines and fees remain unpaid, 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next case on our agenda is 4.5, case number 47-24. Find respondents Jingbai Wang and Xing Tong at 200 Windward IS in violation of code for existing docks and seawalls, and issue an order with the compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on this case? No? Okay, Mr. Kasman, you have the floor. Well, hold on one second. You want to make a motion?
I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now, Mr. Kasman.
All right, thank you very much. Daniel Kasdan, Code Enforcement Inspector for the City of Clearwater. This is case number 47-24 for 200 Windward Island. There's one violation here for Code Section 3-601 D1 and D2 for the repairs of existing docks and seawalls. These are the dates the notice of violation was set out with compliance dates. They have to post the property with both the affidavit of posting and notice of hearing. I am in contact with the owner of the property, both through phone and email. This is 200 Windward Island. This came as a complaint from neighbors about the state of the dock in the rear of the property. This was taken from the neighbor's yard. As you can tell, their roof is missing from one of the docks there. It looks like it's 2 bays. As we get closer, there's a lot of chipped and peeling paint. A lot of the mechanical apertures there are pretty rusty, don't look like they work anymore. And there's rotten wood on the property. This was the date of posting for the affidavits of posting. They didn't sign for anything. This was taken from the neighbor's yard, and this might be hard to see from far away, but if you look at the middle of the gangway there, or the walkway, one of the cross members underneath the dock is broken off, so it's tilting into the water. This is a better look of what's going on there. I alerted the owner, too, of this new issue and explained that they might have to speak with Pinellas County to do those sort of repairs. There's a certain, they take care of certain things when it comes to repairing rights involving docks and dock repair.
Okay.
So this is in March, same issues with the dock roofs and everything attached to them. Again, I asked the owner again if they'd made any progress. They said they'd hired somebody to come out and go take a look at it, give them a quote. This was the posting for notice of hearing, for today's hearing. These were taken today, again from neighbors' yards. Still no changes in the docks really, other than the gangway is starting to twist it even worse.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Rotten wood, and at least they put up a little barricade to keep people from walking on it. So
that's
this is
good.
one step in the right direction. So for this one, we came to negotiate with the owner about how they could come into compliance. This was our scenarios. Compliance will be out for the dock and disrepair by removing all the roofs, the walkways, all the mechanical apertures, and leaving just the pylons themselves intact, which a few houses out there do. He could remove the roof, the mechanical apertures, but just repair the walkway and keep that. Or his third option, restoring the full functionality of the dock by repairing both the walkway, roof, mechanical portions, and keeping the dock in good repair going forward. For this one, I'm requesting compliance on or before May 24th, 2024, or a fine of $250 per day per violation for each day the violation continues to exist.
Why do you make it at 250 out of curiosity?
I'd like to say the dock is a little bit of a safety issue,
Definitely.
too, with the property, especially since they're also renting it out as an Airbnb right now.
Oh,
They're
okay.
getting complaints about
Okay.
people going on the dock.
Is that on a 30-day lease? They
Yeah, well,
might-
you got something like that over
They
the
might be
water,
back.
too.
But,
Yeah, we might see the property again.
Board, do you have any questions for Inspector Kasman?
I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violation on or before May 24th, 2024. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $250 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If the fines and fees remain unpaid, 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, our next case on the agenda is 4.6, case number 48-24. Find respondents Nicholas Stewart at 1915 Macomber Avenue in violation of code for fences and walls, exterior surfaces, and abandoned building and issue an order with a compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on that? No? Inspector Dixon, you have the floor.
Gregory Dixon, Code Compliance Inspector for the City of Clearwater. This is case 48-24 for 19.
Hold on one second. I'm sorry for interrupting. Can I have a first motion, please?
I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in the case.
A second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Dixon.
Case 48-24 for 1915 Macomber Avenue. There are 3 violations of the city code for this property for abandoned building, fence maintenance, and exterior surfaces. Notice of violation was posted and sent in January with compliance date in February. The mail was unclaimed. For abandoned building, it's just a building or structure that is deserted by the owner, left unsecured, or that is not maintained. This particular case, the owner passed away a couple years ago. There was a relative that was trying to keep up with at least the grass mowing, but that stopped, and the last contact I had, they just told me to do what I got to do, so we're here for the violation. There hasn't been any water on since 2021. And this is the exterior of the home. It's rotten wood. It needs painted. I think there's probably a lot of termite damage, but the house is in pretty rough shape. There's only a fence on this side of the house that goes from there back to Stevenson's Creek, and it's barely a fence. Here's the house this week. Nothing's changed. We maintain the grass now.
Is there anyone living there?
No.
Again, they put cameras up. I see the cameras.
Those have been there since I've been dealing with the
Yeah.
property, so I think maybe at one time they worked when there was power at the house.
Did you say somebody had passed away, or this was, okay,
Yeah. And nothing's happened since.
okay.
It's been a couple years now. So compliance will be met for the abandoned building by have all code violations addressed, have current utilities turned on, or have the structure occupied, or sell the property, or have the property demolished. Compliance will be met for fence maintenance by repairing or removing the fence. Compliance will be met for exterior surfaces by repairing all damaged rod and exterior surfaces and repaint the structure. And for the 3 violations for 48-24, requesting compliance on or before June 1st. Or a fine of $150 per violation.
Board, do you have any questions for Inspector Caston or Inspector Dixon?
I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before June 1st, 2024. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day for each day each violation continues, per day per violation for each day each continues to exist. If fines, fees, and remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Excuse me one second, what case was that, 4824?
That was case 4824, yes,
Okay,
sir.
thank you.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, good luck on pronouncing these next names.
4.7 on our agenda has been withdrawn. We are on 4.8, case number 50-24. Find respondents, I'm going to do the best I can, so bear with me. Zhu Hai Vu and Trin Thai Tu Lei at 1325 St. Thomas Drive in violation of code for short-term rental and issue an order with a compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on this case? No? Ms. Green?
Yes, good afternoon. This is an illegal short-term rental that has since complied, so we're seeking a declaration of violation.
Oh, okay. Can I get a
I move to
declaration?
find the respondent was in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case. The violation was corrected prior to today's hearing, and to enter an order that no fine be imposed. If the respondent repeats the violation, the board may order a fine of up to $500 for each day the violation continues to exist.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item number 4.9 is continued to May 22nd. And also 4.10 is continued to May 22nd. 4.11 on our agenda is continued to June 26th. So we are to 4.12, case number 63-24. Find respondents JJJ Family LLLP at 2171 Beecher Road in violation of code for permits and issue an order with a compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on that?
I lost my way again. Which one is that?
We're on second page, this one right down here.
Okay, gotcha.
Sir, state your name and address for the record, please.
Sure, my name is Dolmar Cross. The address that we're discussing right now is property 2171 Beecher Road, case number 63-24.
I'm sorry, can I just get your name?
Dolmar Cross, that's D-O-L-M-A-R, last name C-R-O-S-S.
Thank you.
Mr. Cross, do you admit or deny the violation?
These are violations that happened before we took acquisition of the property, so.
Okay.
So
we
you
are-
deny them?
Yes, I deny them, but we are looking to fix the issues once we get our plans and permits approved.
All right.
This is a house that we acquired some time back. This is a zombie house that has been vacant for quite some time. Apparently, it was brought to my attention that the previous owner started doing renovations to the house without any proper permits or plans. Now that we own the property, we are looking to fix all of these issues. We have been going through the proper process to get our plans and permits approved. That process has been going back and forth with the city and my engineers for quite some time. The house has sat vacant for quite some time as well because of the work the previous owner did. There was a stop work order issued, and that caused the house to sit vacant. Because of the dilapidation, vacancy, and distress that has happened to the property, we got a violation letter about the current condition of the house.
Excuse me,
And,
Mr. Cross. All we need right now is just admit, deny, you deny.
Oh, I deny.
We're gonna bring you back up, but first,
Oh, got
let
it.
the inspector come up,
Okay.
and then we'll bring you back.
No problem.
Yes, let me get a first motion.
I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Ms. Espinoza?
Yes, just a moment. Good afternoon, Board. Nilda Espinosa, City of Clearwater Housing Inspector. Today is for 2171 Beecher Road. Stop work order was issued. A permit is required, and the work was commencing before stop work order and permit issuance. This came to my attention from Pinellas County Construction Licensing Board. They went out October 2022.
So this is for construction?
Yeah, so somebody had come in, this is like the third owner of this property. Finally had enough, it's just sitting there, the permit is in there. Last thing that came in, a revision came in, in March, last month, March 27th, I believe, and we're still waiting. So notice of violation went out February 22nd, 2024. Compliance date was for March 13th, 2024. And certified mail returned from the post office on March 27th, 2024. Notice the hearing went out. I had to do two, because the first one, February, I had the wrong date. I went out and reposted the property on the 10th of this month. I also texted the owner because he had called. I also called and couldn't leave a message because the mailbox was full. So, and the certified mail was returned back on March 27, 2024. This is a copy of the voice message that was left. As you can see, it says I called on March 20, 2024 at 3:48 p.m. I couldn't even leave a message because the voicemail was full. This is the text that I sent the owner. This was done on April 10th, 2024, letting him know that I had cited the wrong date.
Well, we can't see that.
Well, it says the case is going to code board on April 24, 2024, not on April 27th. This situation has been going on since 2024, 2022, and can no longer wait. I know you have an application for a permit, but it is still in the status of revisions needed. Again, the case goes to Code Board, April 24, 2024.
Thank you.
This is where the house is located. It is just north of Union, west of Hercules, south of Spring, Virginia Road, sorry, and east of Keene. It's part county in there, that neighborhood, some state, city. This is what it looks like. This is what it, and if you look, you'll see the orange tag, that was Pinellas County. This is in October of 2022. Again, now you can see the orange tag there, Pinellas County. These pictures came from Pinellas County. They gutted the interior. They also cited 2 steel beams that were put in. I could never get in, so I had to take her word, which I do. She knows, the inspector knows what she's doing. As you can see, it's a 2-story house. It's all gutted. This is the exterior. Someone removed the front door. They put a piece of plywood or dry, something, I don't even know. That white paper just coming off, flying in the wind. This is on the side, and you can see the back.
Is that what it looks like today?
Yes. That's the posting. So we're asking for compliance on or before May 31st of this year. And by that, get an active permit or $150 per day. And compliance can be met by applying, well, they have applied, but obtaining the required permits.
So not the work, but the permits to be
Just-
applied.
Yeah, that's all that we're,
Completed by then. Yeah.
it's just the permits that you're looking for compliance on, not the
Once-
blowing stuff on the side of the house.
That
and
has to be all be done, the whole interior and the exterior.
Okay, so it's just permits that we're here for today. Okay. All right, board, do you have any questions for her?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
if I may, just, I think the board made their first motion already.
Mhm.
I don't recall if the gentleman admitted or.
He did not.
He denied.
He denied,
Yeah.
okay. I also just would ask that, that the board clarify, I don't know if he stated his relationship to the, I believe this property is owned by an LLC.
It is.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. I'm glad you brought that
I
up.
would just ask that it be common practice for the board to ask when a person appears on behalf of the LLC to just clarify what is their relationship to that LLC.
Okay.
Just because not everyone that is affiliated with the LLC has any legal authority
Right.
to represent that LLC in a legal proceeding. So
Okay.
from
It's
our
good.
perspective from the city, we like to know who it is and what kind of authority they have when they speak at these hearings.
Could be a neighbor.
Moving
That's a
forward,
good
Thank
point.
we'll take that and do that for you. All
I
right,
will
Miss-
tell you that when they received the notice of violation, Mr. Cross did contact me, as you can tell. I just couldn't make communication with him. He has come into the office. I spoke with him. I told him, please come to the board, bring a notarized letter saying who you are and all that.
Thank you, Ms. Espinoza.
Thank you.
Mr. Cross,
Mr.
we're
Cross.
ready for you.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're ready.
we're ready. Thank you.
Sorry, this is my first time, so I don't know
That's
the
all
proper
right.
It's
protocol.
all right.
It's our first time, too.
Yeah?
I'm not kidding.
All right, so. where would
First,
you like
what
to
is your
start?
relationship, as the attorney was saying? No.
Oh, you don't need this?
No.
Oh, so I'm authorized to speak on behalf of this property. The owner is a partner of mine with the asset that we are discussing today.
All right.
Is that all right?
Madam Clerk, do you want to see the letter? Okay, thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you very much.
It's also notarized for you.
And when did you acquire the property?
I don't remember. We have a lot of houses, but I'm sure it's on public record. This is a house that has been, we buy a lot of properties in bulk from banks and so forth. As the inspector said, there's been multiple ownerships of this property over time. When we started, putting things in order to start working on this house, the neighbors told us about a lot of the issues that they've had with the previous owners. And so I want to be very clear. We want to comply. We want to fix this house. We want to do things according to the city of Clearwater's codes, and we are going through that process right now. My only challenge is there's just been a lot of back and forth between the city and our engineers. And so I don't think the end of May is enough time, just based on what we've seen, to be able to get our plans approved and our permits. So my simple ask today is, can you grant us till at least the end of June, so we can have enough time to address the last revisions that the city sent over to our engineers. Engineers and the city, they're both really busy, and so I just want enough time to be able to get all those things in order so that we can finally start working on this zombie house.
Mr. Cross, have you applied for permits before?
Yeah,
Okay.
we have.
And what was the conclusion? What did the engineers tell you?
Are you talking about this house?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they just sent a bunch of comments back. My experience has been they'll send one set of comments, my engineers will address those issues, we send it back in for approval, and then they find other stuff. They send back comments again. We address those issues. It goes back. So we're on our third revision right now.
Okay.
I don't know why we can't get all the comments in one set in and then address everything at once, but that's been going back and forth, which has caused a delay. My fear is we send these in a third time, and there's another back and forth. So,
Yeah.
and I also know both my engineers and the city are very busy, so I respect that. And so all I'm asking for is more time. I think by the end of June is ample enough time for us to hopefully, because we're so far along now in the process, if there's any other comments that come back, it should be a very short list so we can get that permit approved as quickly as possible so that my team and I can finally start renovations on this zombie house and fix it up, make it beautiful again, and it's no longer a drain on the community or the city of Clearwater.
Do you think that June is going to be long enough? I mean,
I sure hope so, or I'm coming to see you guys again.
Well, you recognize, I think if you've been sitting, excuse me, did I
No,
interrupt you?
go ahead.
If you've been sitting here, our purpose here is not to make your life more difficult. We're just here to encourage you to do what's right. And even if we set it at June, you're still having problems, as long as you show progress and work with the city, we can move things down. So we're going to set a date, but don't worry. If you're showing good faith, we'll show good faith.
that's why.
Yeah, I certainly want to make sure we do this right. In fact, me coming to see Ms. Espinoza in person, I think shows good faith that we want to resolve this amicably and get this property off the books for the city.
You're
And
one
we
of the very
appreciate
few.
that, Mr. Cross, we really
Thank
do.
you.
You're one of the few that come. You
Yeah.
know, usually like you've
Yeah.
seen today, when I ask, is there anyone here to speak? No one comes.
Yeah.
So you think that the timeline between the permit office and your engineers is June will be enough time, the end of June?
I certainly hope so.
'Cause we're-
I want to
You
start.
tell us and we'll work with you.
I would say the end of June should be fine.
Okay.
I
Why don't we
would,
make it motion July
Well,
1st?
he's saying the end of
All
June.
we're asking for is for him to obtain a permit.
Yeah.
I don't think it should take
I'm
more
not
than
arguing
2
that.
months.
I'm trying to give him, instead of June 30th, like July 1st.
I still want to know how long he's on the property.
It's one day.
But he knows he's here for this property, he gets the form notarized, and he doesn't know the date he acquired it?
I think that's all public record. Ma'am, I buy a lot of houses.
That's great, I'm glad that you do, and I'm sure you go through the process, but that doesn't relieve you of knowing the information of what we are here to talk about today. We're not here to talk about the other properties.
Yeah, I think we're
And so we
addressing
are
that.
gonna work with you, that's fine, but the fact that you don't even know the date you acquired it, for me, that's a timeline. Like, we wanna know that this is getting done timely.
Yeah, I think that's something we can all look up right now.
Well,
Give me a
I
minute,
still
I'll look
say
it up
the
for you.
June date is
Yeah.
fine.
We'll go
if
with the
we-
June date,
if he's,
as long as you think that's
whoever
enough
makes the
time.
motion, yeah, it's fine with me, June.
God, all I want to do is just give him an extra day.
Well,
I
it's 2
appreciate that.
months.
Thank you very much.
I give it,
I don't understand your point.
Because it's already, if all he's doing is
I'm
applying.
agreeing. You're
Because all
not,
he's doing is applying for it and obtaining it. It's not,
I'm
it's
not just
not the
applying.
work. We're not talking about the work getting completed.
I'm not talking about that.
Okay, all right.
I don't think you understand what I'm
I don't think you
saying.
understand what I'm
Make the
saying.
motion.
I just did. I said, I'd like to make a motion instead of June 30th, July 1st.
You have to make the
Well,
whole
June,
motion.
June 30th is a Sunday, so it will come out
It
to
will.
July 1st.
That's all I'm saying. I
July
said that
1st, let's do
before.
it. I appreciate that, thank you.
I moved
And
it.
again,
Well, wait, but we have to vote on this motion.
it's not just an application.
No, he did not make a motion. That's not a
I
motion.
did make,
He made a suggestion.
You made a
He made a
suggestion.
no, I said I want to make a motion.
Then
That was my
then
This
get
was the
on,
motion.
get on this paper and make a
Okay.
motion then.
All right.
No, just, that's your suggestion when you say it like that.
And I appreciate you guys working with me.
You're on it.
I just want to, for the record, going through the application process, we're not just applying. There's a lot of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I
This
think-
isn't the motion I want to make. You guys are getting, you're not understanding. I want to make a motion to extend from June 30th to July 1st. Not a first motion is in violation.
We already did that.
We already did that.
I know.
So
You said.
you changed the date on or before, you changed that to
Then
July 1st.
He pointed me
then,
to this, I'm on the
instead
wrong
of-
page.
You're on the
Well,
right page. You're doing the second motion
Second
right now.
motion, you put in that little space right there, July 1st instead of June 24th.
I know.
Okay?
I
So
move
that's
to
your-
enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violation on or before July 1st, 2024. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of whatever the fine should be.
$150.
Well, if that's what it is, $150 per day per violation. For each day, each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
I'll
I
second that.
second.
All in
Thank you.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
I do have a question. Do I have time for a question?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's say worst case scenario, we don't get our permits approved, because again, based on the trend.
We're working with
You
you.
just tell the
As long as you're in
inspector.
touch with her and we can see that
Yeah.
the process is happening,
We're here to work with you.
Keep
We
in
want-
touch with the city the whole
that's
time.
the
That's
biggest
the
thing
key.
is communication with Ms. Espinoza and you're fine.
If something
Yeah.
comes up, you need more time, we'll definitely grant that. to you.
Ms. Espinoza, she'll let us know if you need it.
Perfect. I
Sure.
appreciate you guys. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Good luck.
Stay in touch with her now. Make sure.
friend. Thank you, guys.
Make sure your
Have a good
voicemail's
day.
open, okay? Make sure she can get you on your voicemail, okay?
Yeah.
And it's not filled up.
So,
Am I needed still?
No.
you're good. Thank you, have a good day. Okay, now on to old business items. So
Yeah, can I make a comment here to the code inspectors? We've had an unusual amount of properties that needed to be fixed up, really sad-looking properties. I live in Clearwater. I really appreciate what you do. I don't know these places, I haven't seen them, but the city motto is, I think, bright and beautiful. You guys are doing a terrific job in keeping the city bright and beautiful, and I just want to thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, this is item 5.
Remember me at Christmas.
5.1 on our agenda to accept the affidavits of compliance as listed. 5.1.1, case number 98-19, 5.1.2, case 91-22, 5.1.5, case 142-23, case 5.1.6, case 1024, case 5.1.3, case 1223, case 5.1.4, case 2923.
That's it, right?
And I believe that's all.
Yeah. I move to accept the affidavits of compliance as listed.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, the next on our, is 5.2 on our agenda, and it's continued to May 24th. 5.3 has been withdrawn. 5.4 has also been withdrawn, and 5.5 is continued to May 22nd, 2024. So we will move on to other board action. 6.1 on our agenda, case 17-20, consider
It's
request.
5.4
is still good.
No, it was withdrawn, correct?
Oh.
Yes,
Okay.
I was.
We weren't told about
No,
it.
Yeah, it's
I-
not on our sheet.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, thank you.
I apologize, Board. Other board action, 6.1, case number 17-20, consider request by petitioners Albert Huon at 801 Barber Street to reduce the fine, RE roof maintenance, and if approved, issue an order that specifies a fine that includes administrative costs and establishes a date payable, or the lien will revert to its original amount. Is there anyone here to speak on this? Mr. Huon?
Jason Clark, behalf of Albert Ewing.
And your name was, sir?
Jason Clark.
For the record? You got it?
Jason Clark.
Okay.
And for my apologies, I did not print out the application like I typically do for you, but I can put it up on the screen if you would like to
Yes.
see.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
Yes, my client through his company, Falliger Homes, who I also represent, purchased a property, I believe it was July of last year. We had an occupancy agreement with the previous owner to stay an additional 90 days. We had a little bit of trouble with getting him out of the property. All of these violations are the previous owner's responsibility. The place was pretty much garbage when we purchased the property. We're now in compliance. Did work on the roof. Got the growth and weeds all taken care of. The fence was in shambles. We got that taken care of also. And we're just asking now for a reduction of the lien to just the administrative costs and the inspection fees.
Now, the original owner that you guys purchased from, were these violations in this lien, was it accruing during the purchasing of this property?
I believe some of it may have, yes. We couldn't get,
When
the
did
client
you,
couldn't get anybody inside the property either, which was an issue.
when did Mr. Huon buy the property?
Yes, he bought the property
When?
through his company, Falliger Homes. And he's the
What
president,
date?
president and owner of that company.
What
When?
date did he buy the house?
The deed says, it was recorded July 1st, I believe it was, early July of last year.
Last year?
But again, the 90-day agreement we had with the occupant, just to allow him time to move on, buy another property. We had a lot of difficulty getting him out of the property.
I was just trying to figure out if these fines were already accruing when he purchased the property, and if so, how come he didn't look into that and either have the owner
Yeah,
take care of those?
That was an issue, absolutely. He got in there and started working on it as soon as he can, as soon as he was able to.
they own
I
a
believe
bunch
it's
of
probably
properties.
around November, late October or so.
They own several properties that they do.
You say that it's all been taken care of, but does anybody, we have any pictures that it's been taken care of? Does anybody verify that?
I have an email from somebody saying that it was approved and now in compliance. I have the email here, but I don't know if
Rebecca Mulder, Code Compliance Manager. Our inspector did go out to the property and verify that it is in compliance not only with the
Okay.
violation, but any other violations that may be on the property. So it's good to go from our stance.
that's my
What's
understanding.
the
Okay, well, board?
administrative cost?
$1,148.20.
1,048?
No, $1,148.20.
20 cents.
20 cents.
Make it an even 3,000?
1148.20.
We
I
have
would-
for a total with the inspection.
I would say I'd make it an even 5,000.
Even 5,000?
That's my
Yeah.
opinion on it. Because that's $225,000. And if he bought this property knowing there was a lien already against it, he should have went to the property owner and said, you need to take care of this by him coming and getting the lien reduction instead of sending the new owner to get the
If
lien.
I
I'm
can, if I
surprised
can
that
respond to that, I
title-
think we did do that. He was
Oh.
difficult to work with.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you know, so,
I'm sure that came up during the title
yeah,
search,
probate,
no?
or,
Yeah.
title
For
search.
Yes.
property transfer?
Yes.
And so the seller, or the buyer obviously purchased it knowing that these liens existed, correct?
Yes, and the understanding was that they would be reduced.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
hopefully.
You know,
Yeah.
you don't,
I mean,
you don't know
they're not
that.
that's.
So I wouldn't have
The disastrous condition of the property was not the responsibility of my client, absolutely not. And he worked hard and put a lot of money into
No,
this
no,
to get it back up
I
to.
understand it's not, it wasn't
That
his
might have been
standard.
his understanding, but not our
Yeah,
understanding.
you know,
But property's good now, so what do we think?
5?
I would go with an even 5,000 on it. That's just, me. What do you guys think?
I hate to find anything, but I just go with the administrative cost, but
No, I
But
agree
they knew
with
full well
Mr.
that they had a
VP here, too.
$225,000 lien when they bought it. They knew full well they had that amount.
hey, make a motion.
I move to enter fine in order reducing the amount of the lien to $5,000 inclusive of administration costs payable within 30 days? Is that typical?
Yeah,
Paul?
generally question,
Yes.
30 days would be fine.
Or the lien will revert to its original loan amount. Original
Second.
amount.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time today.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
All right, next on our agenda is nuisance abatement lien filings, 7.1, case number 62-24. Accept the nuisance abatement lien for respondent Anna Hernandez at 1502 Lynn Avenue for an inoperative vehicle and issue an order with the compliance deadline and authorize the city to mitigate the violation if the compliance is not met.
Longest motion.
I guess we don't have to, there's no one here to speak on that, so Inspector Simon?
How y'all doing?
I guess they go through it so we can see what it is.
Good afternoon, Board. Brian Simon, City of Clearwater Code Compliance Inspector. Excuse me. This is for case 6224, 502 Lynn Avenue. It's a residential abatement order. Number of violations is 1, the code section, inoperable vehicle. The notice violation was mailed and posted on 1/22/24. Excuse me, compliance date set for 2/5/24. Registered mail receipt was returned on 2/15/24. I reposted the property again on 3/14/24. As you can see here, and we'll see more pictures, you have a white Chrysler and a black Volkswagen, both of them with no tags. As you can see there on the white Chrysler. And on the black Volkswagen. I take a lot of pictures.
Any communications with the
That's
so-called
good.
owners?
We like that.
Oh, now, there's your posting on the white Chrysler, and your posting on the black VW.
Is there any communications between you and the owners?
I have not heard a word from them.
Okay.
I've knocked on their door, left business cards, nothing.
Okay.
This picture was taken yesterday. As you can see, the white Chrysler has been removed, which is good. Black VW remains, and there's still no tag on it.
Was your posting still on there? I can't see it.
They had removed the posting.
They did?
So,
Okay.
yeah. Compliance can be met for the inoperable vehicles by removing the vehicles from the property or obtaining current tag/registration. Excuse me, requesting compliance 5 days after the board renders its order.
Any questions?
Any questions, guys?
Easy peasy.
All right.
I move to enter an order finding the respondent in violation of code and requiring the respondent to correct the violations within 5 days of the written order. If the respondent does not comply within the time specified, the city may take all reasonable actions, including entry onto the property to abate and maintain the nuisance, and charge the respondent with the reasonable cost which will become a lien on the property. If costs, fines, and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, thank you, Mr. Simon.
Thank you.
7.2 on our agenda, case 64-23, accept the nuisance abatement lien for respondents Versatile Acquisitions LLC at 1913 Coles Road for lot clearing and issue an order with the compliance deadline and authorize the city to mitigate the violation if compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on that? No. Inspector Dickinson, you have the floor.
All right, Greg Dixon, Code Compliance Inspector for the City of Clearwater, case 64-24 for 1913 Coles Road. There's one violation at the property for overgrowth. Notice of violation is posted and mailed in February with compliance at the beginning of April. The certified mail receipt was received for us, so they did sign for it. I haven't had any contact with the owners. This home was bought a year or so ago, and they started renovations. I haven't seen anybody there in months, and the grass is overgrown. This is what the property looked like the day of posting.
Wow.
And it's basically the same today.
Yeah, it just amazes me how they spend all that money and then they just don't go.
Probably don't anticipate
Extra.
the cost, they've run out of money and can't find
Yep.
workers, there you go.
So they can come into compliance by clearing all trash, debris, overgrowth from the property, and requesting compliance 5 days after the board renders its order.
All right. Any questions for Inspector Dixon, board? No?
I move to enter an order finding the respondent in violation of code and requiring the respondent to correct the violations within 5 days of the board's written order. If the respondent does not comply within the time specified, the city may take all reasonable actions, including entry onto the property to abate and maintain the nuisance, and charge the respondent with the reasonable cost which will become a lien on the property. Costs, fines, and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed. The city is authorized for close, collect, or settle such lien.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Move we
Motion
adjourn.
carries. And if there is nothing more before this board, we will be adjourned.
Thank you.